Hi, and welcome back to another episode of History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today is one of my favorite type of episodes where I get to show and tell some different CDs for you today. And what better place in front of my CD collection here. Another very popular TV series that we did a lot of episodes for is City Hunter. And it's also one of the very first animes that I was exposed to when I went to the Japanese grocery store to rent, recordings of things that were on TV. One of those mixtapes full of like random episodes of anime that they had was City Hunter. So I got lots of episodes of City Hunter from that. Okay, so again, I really like the soundtrack for that because there lots of good music in it. So again, they released City Hunter 1, the first series. So that's the first soundtrack on that one. The opening theme song for that one. And there's the second, the second part of that, the first series. Change the theme song for that. Okay, and then the City Hunter 2 series. Soundtrack for Volume 1, soundtrack for Volume 2. Okay. Now, what I really love is again that they compiled different music for this TV series. They have what they call the City Hunter Dramatic Master. Okay, so this is a combination of some basically some drama scenes. Some basically image songs as well as some clips right out of the show, some voice acting stuff and that kind of stuff. So again, some talking sequences in there, but also it's a song collection. So a lot of the vocal stuff is also on the CD. So that particular one right there. And then they also released this City Hunter Dramatic Master 2. Okay. Now this is a really popular one because again it contains some really nice songs. There's quite a few good English songs on this one. I make a mention to the one by Red Monster. Great dance song. I remember when I was working at Radio Shack on Fraser Street, which is no longer there. It's now at Starbucks. I remember I put that song onto the CD player, hooked up to the big amp with the 15-inch subwoofers and speakers out there, and we just cranked that song because it's a really high energy dance song. It's also in English, and right next door is one of those Max convenience stores, so kind of like a 7-Eleven type of thing. And I'm sure that sometimes late at night, after the store is closed, you're kind of wondering what the heck is all this music coming out? It's just blasting the wall there. And so that was one of the songs I used to play really, really loud that time. So again, the odd anime fan will be out there listening to that thing, and all of a sudden you hear like City Hunter music coming through the wall. That's the soundtrack for City Hunter 3. Okay, all these contain like nice opening theme songs for that. From City Hunter 2, this one's a very popular one here. Okay, this is the second CD for City Hunter 2. Again, one of my favorite songs on this one is that Sarah song from a band called Fence of the Fence. All right, good song there. Some people ask me for some suggestions for music from the series. It's a pretty large series. Okay, so from the first series, I like the opening theme song for this particular one. Again, it tends to be a pretty popular title for karaoke and that kind of stuff, the opening theme song. But out of this particular one, I really like the ending theme song, which is a song called Get Wild, alright, by TM Network. Okay, these guys are really good. So what I ended up getting and following up on is, well, what else does TM Network make? And so this is a selection of all the different CDs that TM Network makes out. Okay, now TM Network, really popular band, makes a great deal of number of different CDs and that kind of stuff for this. Okay, they're popular for a great deal of the soundtrack. So here's TM Network's Coliseum. Okay, this one is called Twilight Night. Now the reason why this is kind of an interesting one is because this one also has the music for Vampire Hunter D, which is a very classic, vampire Dracula type story in anime form. So it's also really nice classics. But yeah, TM Network does that as well for V500D. So you want to get that one there. There you go. This one is called The Human System. Okay. This also, features some of the work from Tetsuya Komuro. All right, referred to as TK. He will later pop up with the singer and make Street Fighter the movie song. Okay, so if you're a fan of the Street Fighter movie, TK does production with that one. Okay, here's another really popular one from TM Network. Okay, has this my favorite song of this one is something called "Come On Everybody." All right. Now the reason why that's important is because that one is done in collaboration with a person named Nile Rodgers. Now, who is Nile Rodgers? Well, if you're familiar with Duran Duran, he's the producer for them, Wild Boys, Reflex, that kind of stuff. Okay, so he collaborated on that particular song, "Come On Everybody." All right, on this particular one here. Okay, Gift for Thanks. Okay, this is the actual CD that contains the Get Wild song. It also has a really popular song called "Come On, Let's Dance." That's another really popular one. "Self Control" is another really popular one. This one here as well. Okay, talking about Self Control. This is the actual album where Self Control comes from. Right. Okay, and here's one called "Childhood End." All right, and now the reason why I mentioned "Childhood End" is because TM Network, also does a whole bunch of different, animes at that time. One of the ones that they also really did really popular is this one here called Carol. Okay, it's essentially a Alice in Wonderland type of thing, and the girl ends up going to this Wonderland where they meet these three guys. How many people are in TM Network? Three guys. And and they basically help her out of this, this magical world. So this, again, the soundtrack for Carol, they're known for. Okay. The other thing that the TM Network is really known for is this particular soundtrack. Okay, they do the ending theme song for Charged Counterattack. Charged Counterattack. Okay, they do that Beyond the Time song. All right. A very good popular song for that one to get. The modern trend right now is a lot of superhero shows. So what better one of soundtrack I should bring up is a superhero soundtrack one. And the one I'm going to bring up is this one right here. It's from a band called Ambience. Okay, now the reason I'm bringing this one up is because, as you know, they made a cartoon version of the X-Men, okay? And so when they brought that over to Japan and the English dubbed it and the Japanese dubbed it, they redid the opening theme song in a Japanese animation style. So can you imagine the X-Men characters, like Cyclops and Gambit and Cable and that kind of stuff, all drawn in a Japanese animation style with the bigger eyes and everything else like that, okay? And they made that in a really great opening theme song sequence. I mean, the rest of the show was like, they didn't animate that. They just used the crappy, cartoon that we're accustomed to. But when you compare that to what they did to the opening theme song, you wish that the rest of the show was animated that well, and the combat scenes were done that well. Actual, Wolverine slicing through things, and Cyclops, burning. These sort of like these tentacle monsters and stuff, just cutting them off at the head, and Cable just ripping his machine guns into some guy. Okay, great animation sequence. So, but the opening theme song for that is done in a kind of almost a flashy metal type of song, really fast, lots of guitar, high drum BPM rate there. But it's done by this band here, Ambience. Okay. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Check for the Japanese version of the X-Men opening theme song. And you'll see just how different and how good a Japanese animated version of the X-Men is. Okay, it's not that. As I mentioned in an earlier video, one of my favorite games I always like to play was Langrisser, or as it was later put over here, Warsong. Okay. Now the version I got really liked was the PC Engine version of this thing. And the reason why is because the PC Engine version came on CDs, and or what they refer to as the PC Engine CD-ROM. And the reason that was so much better than the Sega Genesis cartridges is that it actually contained a true musical soundtrack. That is a CD quality soundtrack rather than the 8-bit MIDI one that you're accustomed to. So so I said, this is really, and the music is really good. It had a really good soundtrack. So what I brought out is this is the soundtrack for the Sega Genesis version. Okay, came on this end. This is the Langrisser 1 for the Sega Genesis soundtrack. Okay, and then this is the corresponding PC Engine version of that soundtrack. Now you'd think the soundtrack is pretty much the same, but I find that if you take the actual rip from the actual PC Engine CD, it is of I wouldn't say higher quality, but I just think it just sounds more upbeat and sounds a little bit better, I guess you can say, in that respect. But check that one out. The neat thing about this particular CD for Langrisser on the PC Engine version in this soundtrack is when you finish the game, there is a ending theme song that you get, which is it's called "Don't Stop the Dream." On this particular CD, two of the voice actors, Nam and Chris. Okay, those are the two female characters that join your party. They each have a version of them singing that ending theme song on this particular CD. So again, so if you're used to what you hear on the game, if you want to hear an alternate version sung by a different person, the person who does Namu's voice and the person who does Chris's voice are on this particular CD. So again, this is a still collector type item. Okay, again, this is the sequel for Langrisser 2, so Langrisser 2 or Der Langrisser as they refer to. Again, if you get the version on the game console, you can get the better quality copy. Again, Der Langrisser came out on the PCFX. Again, this particular version gives you all the different tones, both for the light side and the dark side on this one here. So again, this one I really like because it has really nice guitar riffs in this one, really upbeat, really fast-moving, pace-moving type music that you can use for exercising and that kind of stuff, or if you're playing those war games and that kind of stuff. It's a good inspirational music. This one's a really good soundtrack for that. Check it out.